Hey y'all, today we're gonna take it back to an old school style. Now my client came to me and wanted a swoop in a ponytail. Now in the middle her hair is real short, and she was scared that she wasn't gonna be able to get this style. So I say, well, let me just blow it out and then see what we working with then. It was still short in one little spot, but I'm gonna maneuver around it. You'll see later on in the video what I'm talking about. Now she wanted her ponytail to the back more because they wear hats at work and they can't have their hair up in a ponytail. So I'm just doing a little base of the ponytail in the back. I start with 2 knotless and then I'm gonna work my way around it so that it'll all flow into a nice ponytail. On the sides her hair was real thin and short. I had to start it out with a little bitty piece of hair, y'all. So I actually had to start all her hair out with little bitty pieces because of how thin it was, and then it was just a little bit short, and I just wanted everything to be nice and full. Now when you dealing with thin hair, you have to build your braids up, and what I mean by that is just start with little pieces and build on up. Like just keep on feeding in your little pieces until you have a nice thick braid. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay, now remember we are going for a full look. Like we want her braids to be close together. So basically you just part really close to the first braid that you did. Now close to her roots, I really couldn't do that because it wasn't no hair right there, to start with. Not that much. But once I got closer to the end, I build my braid up so that it can be close together. So basically that's all I'm doing, is just parting real close together so that her braids can be nice and full. Now I'm starting to work on my swoop, y'all. This is how you do a swoop. This is very old school, baby. I've been braiding since I was like 10 or 11, so all this stuff ain't new to me. But anyway, you start off braiding on the scalp, and then you're gonna braid the braid onto the forehead and just let them hold that part, and then you start back braiding to the scalp on the other side. And basically this is how you make your swoop. Now it's very important that you get them to hold the braid on their forehead as close as possible, really tight, so that the braids can be close together, because you don't want your swoop to have no spaces in it at all. So you start out braiding on the scalp, then you braid on down, you're gonna wrap it on the forehead, and then you start back braiding right here. I left this in real time so y'all can see how I started the braid back on the other side. Now y'all see how I got her holding the braids right there on her scalp. I'm gonna have her to move over just a little bit because I noticed that the braid was kind of having a little space in between, so I'm gonna just politely move her hand on down so that everything can stay nice and in place and close together. So yeah, they gonna have to hold them braids, y'all gonna have to get them to hold their braid. Now she usually go to sleep every time I braid her hair, but baby, you have to stay up today because look, you want a swoop and you gonna have to hold this swoop so it can be right. Now y'all see how close together those braids are? That's what we going for. Like her hair is thin, and that's what she was kind of scared of. Like she didn't know if it was gonna look full or not, but yeah, I'm getting the job done. Now right here is kind of where I do my little, how I got the little design that I'm gonna have at the end. Like I braided 2 braids, like 2 or 3 braids, and then I went on the other side and braided 2 or 3 more braids, and that's how it kind of created the little zigzag part that it's gonna do at the end. So yeah, y'all will see what I'm talking about when y'all make it to the end of the video. I didn't get me braiding the middle part on camera, but I had to do it like that because the middle part was kind of short, and I had to kind of like braid down and then back up again so that I could catch the middle part. But y'all, this is how it turned out. Please excuse her facial expression, y'all. She just looked like this. She loved her hair. I loved her hair. Let me know what y'all think. See y'all in the next video. Bye.